Welcome back, everyone. It's me, Mr. 4K. I guess it's time for me to do this official review of this juggernaut of a game. And why is it juggernaut? Well, because there's so much to unpack here, there's so much to talk about here. But first, let me give you a little backstory about my experience with Kojima. Back in 1998, when I purchased my original PlayStation 1, there was a demo disc that came in with a bunch of games. And one of the games was this tactical espionage action Metal Gear Solid. And I was like, well, let's give it a try. So once I tried it, I was hooked on the demo, and then I purchased the game. And ever since the first Metal Gear Solid 1998, I've been a fan of Hideo Kojima ever since 1998. I mean, I played everything from the first Metal Gear, second Metal Gear, Sons of Liberty with PlayStation 2, Snake Eater, Metal Gear Solid 3 in 2004, and of course 2008 PlayStation 3, Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots, which was released on PlayStation 3 on June 2008. And I was blown away by all of his work. Even Zone of the Enders that he produced in 2001, summer of 2001, I was impressed. So I've been playing every game that he released. And of course, Phantom Pain, Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. I played that in 2015, I'm sorry, September 1st, 2015, on PlayStation 4. And of course, 2019, November 2019, November, Death Stranding original, Death Stranding 1. And of course, in 2025, Death Stranding 2. So I just want to kind of give you this backstory so that way you understand that I am a huge fan of Hideo Kojima, as I'm sure many of you are. So I don't want you to think that, ooh, it's my first time getting a taste of Kojima work. No, man, I'm 46 years old. I've been around. I played plenty of Kojima games. I played all of them. Okay? Even some of the classic ones. Even some of the ones you never heard of. You know, I've played them, you know. But this is like early 90s, you know what I mean? Like 80s. When he made a Metal Gear Solid, you know, with a bird's eye, you know. So I'm very familiar with Kojima, and I want you to know this, so this way you have a better understanding. Hey, this guy actually knows what he's talking about when he's talking about Kojima. This is not just some guy, you know, who was born yesterday and cut his umbilical cord, and here he is now talking about Kojima, right? So I want you to understand my understanding that I am familiar with Kojima. Now, having said that, when I originally heard about Death Stranding, I was super excited, right? Just like everybody else, I was super excited. I wanted to play it, and I did play it in November of 2019. I believe it was November 8th, 2019. And when I first started playing it, I was amazed by the Decima engine. I was amazed by the graphics, the soundtrack, the atmosphere, all of that. It was pretty amazing for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro. It was pretty amazing to see the graphics. Next to The Last of Us Part 2, I would say, you know, Last of Us Part 2, God of War, and Death Stranding certainly showcased what PlayStation 4 can do. And Spider-Man, we could put Spider-Man in there as well. You know, PlayStation, and Ghost of Tsushima, of course. You know, those are the games that really flex the muscles of PlayStation 4. However, Death Stranding really was a game that came in the right time, if you will, because we had a pandemic. People were in a lockdown, and a lot of people were playing it, including me. I spent 60 hours playing the first one, Death Stranding 1. But the issue I had with the first game was I was thrown into this world and I wasn't being explained much. It's kind of like doing a job without any training. It's like, hey, all right, man, you start working tomorrow. No training, just figure it out. It's kind of like that, right? And you're like, oh, shit. That's how it's going to be, huh? Okay. And that's how I felt when I was playing this game. That's how I felt. I felt like in the beginning, nothing was explained to me. Who Amelie is, who is Amelie? All of a sudden, I was just told that she was the daughter of Bridget, the president, the former female president of the United States before, Death Stranding. And after Death Stranding, then they created a UCA, which is United Cities of America, and this new president, Die Hardman, was in charge. And he was trying to explain all of this to me, but I didn't understand any of it. It's almost like being born into a world, but you have no idea what's going on. Now, I figure out that Kojima did this purposely. He did this on purpose because he didn't want you to know everything in the first game. He didn't want you to know who Sam is. He was saving all of this for a sequel, of course. But, we had to wait 6 years later down the road to understand, oh, this is X, Y, and Z. This was kept secret in the first game, right? So, I was a bit confused in the first game 6 years ago. All right, this is 6 years ago. I was confused, and I was like, well, I'm delivering these packages, I'm connecting this chiral network, I'm building the bridges, helping other players. That's all fine and dandy, but I'm like, I still don't understand the story. I'm still confused. Like, what the heck am I doing here? It feels like I'm in some sort of a limbo. Okay, I'm doing what I'm being told to do, and I'm, doing these tasks, I'm finishing these tasks, but I still don't understand, like, what the heck's going on here. And after 60 hours, I just decided to quit. And it left a bad taste in my mouth. I was disappointed. I was like, man, I expected more from Kojima. This is not type of the game that I was looking forward to. It was 50-50. Some people liked it. Some people didn't like it. Okay, so the first Death Stranding was 50-50. And I think that was done on purpose. I think Kojima actually admitted. He's not even hiding that fact. He admitted he has done that on purpose. He wanted this to be a mystery, to be like a secret. He didn't want you to know who Sam is. He didn't want you to know. He just wanted to give you a little bits and pieces. Not too much, but just a little bits and pieces. So that way, you can be prepared for the sequel. And on the sequel, when we come back to sequel, everything will be explained. So a lot of people ask me, well, why did you talk so negative about, the upcoming Death Stranding 2? Why did you say that Kojima is overrated? That is because I expected more from Kojima. Because I am familiar with his work. I know what he has done. I expected more. And the first Death Stranding left a bad taste in my mouth. And I was like, well, should I pre-order Death Stranding 2? Should I not pre-order Death Stranding 2? I was in a predicament. I was trying to debate myself. Should I purchase it, not purchase it? Should I play it? Should I not play it? And long and behold, even though I made all those videos where I was trashing Death Stranding, nobody asked for a sequel. Not many people really enjoyed the first one. Let's be honest, like 50-50. Like nobody's asking, that I know of, was asking for a sequel. So when I saw Kojima working on a sequel years and years ago, I was like, why is he working on a sequel, dude? People really, they were kind of split on this game. They weren't really like praising it that much. Some people praised it, some they didn't. It was 50-50. So why is he making a sequel? Well, to understand that and to connect the dots with the first one, you have to play the sequel. That's what I have found out. Until you play the sequel, nothing will be clear to you. I don't care how many times you replay and play the first game, you have to play the sequel for that same reason, to understand X, Y, and Z. What the bridge babies are, who is Amelie, what the EEs are. EEs are extinction entities, what is their role, right, etc., etc. Then we find out that Amelie is EE, extinction entity on the beach. Who is Higgs? What is Higgs' role in this, right? Why did he choose to be so evil versus good, right? Why is Sam Porter a good person? Well, because he's always been a good person. you know, your soul is always going to be what it is. Your soul is either born good or it's born bad, according to Death Stranding. And if it's born bad, there's nothing you can do about it. No matter how hard you try to be a good person, you're always going to be a bad person. It's embedded into your soul. So, in a sequel, we're starting to understand more and more what Death Stranding is and why did Death Stranding happen. Okay, why did this other world of dead crossed over to our reality? And it all has to do with Bridget, the former female president. Bridget, she was very sick, okay, and she had a major surgery, and on that surgery she went in some kind of induced coma. And when that happened, the part of her soul crossed over to the beach, to the Death Stranding, and the other part of her soul stayed inside her body. And that other part of her soul, it's called Amelie. It went to the beach to become a EE, extinction entity. And Amelie, the extinction entity, was really upset with Bridget, because when we find out what Bridget's intentions really are with these bridge babies and how she's manipulating women and using these babies, okay, so Amelie decided almost to like bring some wrath to this Bridget, and she did. She opened up the beach where the Death Stranding happened. It happened in the former United States. And when that Death Stranding happened, it was because of Amelie, because Amelie caused it. And once you open up that Pandora box, once you open up that Death Stranding, then it spreads like a wildfire, right? She also brought in the time fall, which brings this rain, and this rain makes you become older, you age faster, and then ultimately you die, and you get picked up by these beach things, BTs, and they pull you down, and then you die with all the tar that comes out. So we find out that Amelie is the extinction entity, and we also find out that Bridget, who created the Bridges network, it's responsible for stealing the babies from women, like she did from Lucy. We find out with Lucy what happened with Lucy. We find out also that Neil Vana, who looked like a Metal Gear guy, like Solid Snake, was trying to help Julie save the baby, which is Tomorrow, Lou. So what happened is, the Tomorrow, the baby, was also comprehended by Amelie. Amelie knew that the Bridget would do such a thing. Okay, so same thing happened with Sam. We find out that Sam was a bridge baby. Okay? He was artificially created. He didn't have a mother, a real mother. The only thing close to his mother was Amelie, because Amelie practically saved him on the beach and raised him on the beach. And that's why you see Sam in the first game. Like, okay, play the first game in the beginning, and why do you see Sam on the beach with the Amelie? Well, you see Sam on the beach with the Amelie because that's what happened. There was a character played by Mads Mikkelsen. Okay, I think his name is Cliff. He tried to save Sam. That's, I believe, a scientist. He tried to save Sam, but the Bridget, with her Bridges goons, she tried to assassinate Cliff, and there was a accident that happened where the bullet hit the Sam's pod, the bridge baby pod, and that's where Sam as a baby died and crossed over to the beach. And when he crossed over to the beach, Amelie saved him. Amelie, the extinction entity, saved him, and the extinction entity, which is Amelie, she raised him and she brought him back into this reality again. She did the same thing with Lou, because Amelie is angry on what's been going on, what Bridget has done. Bridget's a very evil person, okay? All right? She's a very evil person. The good person is the Amelie. Amelie is a good person. So when I started playing the sequel, all of this stuff started opening up. All of this stuff started being explained to me, right? And I started understanding the story. And the only way you can understand the story is by playing both of these games. I think the way Kojima designed Death Stranding and Death Stranding 2 is you have to play both of them to understand X, Y, and Z, what's going on. That is the only way, because otherwise you'll never understand it. And that's why I was confused, because I only played the first one, and in the first one it left a bad taste in my mouth because I was confused. Now 6 years later, Death Stranding 2 comes out and everything connects the dots. Okay, so once you understand the basic principle of how Death Stranding works, okay, so there's two different worlds. There's the world of Death Stranding, which we have to cross over, and then there's our physical reality, Ha and the Ka, right? You have the Ha, which is our reality, and the Ka, which is the Death Stranding. So the Ha and the Ka. All of these things are explained, but you have to pay attention. So once I understood all of this, once I understood who Sam is, and once I understood the relationship between him and Lucy, and that tomorrow the Lou, it's his baby. Once I understood all of that, then everything became more clear. Everything's connected. Nothing is randomly done for no reason. It might appear like that in the game in the beginning, that everything's happening at random, but this is why you have to stay the course, so you can connect the dots and understand what's going on. All right, so now let's jump into, now that I explained to you what the meaning of Death Stranding is, what the bridge babies are, what the EEs are, which is extinction entity, and also, for the record, spoilers warning, tomorrow it's a EE as well, extinction entity. But just like Amelie, they're good extinction entity. Even though Amelie was punishing us, and did we deserve that punishment because of Bridget? Well, that was the only way she knew how to, send a message to Bridget. But anyway, do I agree with the decision that Amelie made to punish the rest of us with a Death Stranding wrath? But that's why Sam was there. to connect and correct the mistakes, to bring people together, to bring love. So there's a greater message there. But just for the record, tomorrow is a EE. Okay? She is a extinction entity. Make no mistake about that. Just like Amelie. Alright? But we'll find out in Death Stranding 3 how she uses her powers. How tomorrow uses her powers. And I think we'll play as her, not as Sam, which is kind of great because, we already played as Sam way too much. I want to play as tomorrow, and that's great. That's fine. That's how it should be. We should play as tomorrow with Death Stranding 3. They're probably going to call it Death Stranding 3 tomorrow. All right, so now that you have some basic understanding of what Death Stranding is and how it connects with the Death Stranding 2, let's talk about Kojima's Easter eggs. The reason I'm showing you this photo, and I wonder how many of you have figured this out. How many of you have actually connected dots? What does this remind you of? Now, if you are a hardcore Kojima fan like I am, you will know exactly what this is. If you know, then you know. But I will tell you anyway, okay? What this is, it's a representation of Metal Gear Ray, okay? It has a Magellan ship attached to the head of this Titan to represent symbolic Metal Gear Ray from Sons of Liberty. Metal Gear Solid 2 on the Hudson River on that ship. And remember, the Metal Gear Ray breaks out of the ship on the Hudson River in New York, and that's Metal Gear Ray. You see? But that's the way Kojima works, He wants to see if you're going to figure this out, right? There it is, Metal Gear Ray. You can see him attaching, and the design of this Magellan, it's in the shape of Metal Gear Ray. So that's a reference to Metal Gear Ray. Okay, these are all the references to Metal Gear. And of course we have, Solid Snake, Nirvana, which of course is the obviously Solid Snake. So this, when I say obviously Solid Snake, meaning referencing obviously Solid Snake, I know he's not a Solid Snake. I know he's a Nirvana. He's a Mexican from Mexico, right? Actually, he's an Italian from Italy. As an actor, he's from Italy, but he plays a Mexican. Name is, he was also a porter that was smuggling these smuggling women for the bridge babies, which is even more disgusting. That's why he's so angry, because he was smuggling women from Mexico into the UCA to bring these pregnant women for donation of bridge babies. That's how evil Bridget was. That's how evil Bridges company is. And that's why Die Hardman left. It's like, man, I don't want nothing to do with this. I'm out of here. So this is Amelie. Amelie is a strand of Bridget. And she kind of looks like Bridget. She's like a daughter of Bridget, if you will. A part of Bridget that crossed over to the beach, to the Death Stranding, and she has turned into a extinction entity that brought the wrath of Death Stranding because of just how evil Bridget was. And that's why the Death Stranding happened. And even the Dead Man says in the beginning of the game, the Death Stranding happened because of our doing. Because of our doing. We triggered that Death Stranding because of our doing. So Amelie also saved Sam, and she raised Sam. So this is practically his mother. That's practically Sam's mother, the only mother that he knew as a baby that raised him. So practically she is his mother. Amelie, it's his mother. It's very emotional. She gave him a hug and she pushed him into the other side. Very emotional. Like I said, once you connect the dots, once you understand Death Stranding, then you understand why this is a masterpiece. Then you understand why a lot of people calling it a masterpiece. But you have to understand it. You have to connect the dots. And of course, this is Fragile. Fragile's always loved him. She always cared about him. She wasn't. I think the problem I saw with Fragile, she never like opened up to him in the beginning. I wish that she would have opened up to him earlier, like in the first game. But you can tell that there was a chemistry there, that she really loved him. Like, it's not something you can hide. She did love him. And now, after, spoilers warning, after Higgs killed her, and people say, well, how did Higgs kill her? When she was running away from Higgs and she fell off the bike, trying to protect Tomorrow, she turned her back, and in that moment, Higgs used the gun and he shot her in the back. The thing is, in that moment, she was in between her ha and the ka. Her ha and the ka. And in between the ha and the ka, she was, for that split little second, she was in that reality, physical reality that we are in. And Higgs knew that, and he took the opportunity and killed her. But Amelie brought her back as a doomers. They call them doomers or something like that. They're already dead, basically. They're already dead, but they can operate within the ha and the ka to help Sam. And that's eventually what her role was. She was already dead, but she had plenty of time given by Amelie for her to do what she needed to do, to help Sam save Tomorrow and defeat this evil Higgs. Okay. So let's talk about some other important things that I think are very important. Now that you have a better understanding of the story, let's talk about some other things. Now, here's the, Metal Gear Ray. Obviously, this is the Easter egg representing two reference representing Metal Gear Ray. So this is the reference to Metal Gear Ray. So anybody who played a Metal Gear, this is Metal Gear Ray. Reference to Metal Gear Ray. So let's talk about the Easter eggs. All right, I want to talk about the Easter eggs. Let's talk about some more Easter eggs. Just give me a second. I'm going through some of my photos. I took so many photos. My goodness, there's so many. I want to talk about. Hold on. I want to talk about this. So this is Neil Vana. The reason Kojima chose him because he's an Italian actor and he saw some of his movies and he was like, man, this guy kind of resembles the first original younger Solid Snake. So let's use him and let's have him as a symbolic Solid Snake, but his real name is Neil Vana, and his role in the game is to help Lucy, but unfortunately he wasn't able to do that. He was killed as well next to Lucy because he was trying to rescue Lucy while she was still pregnant with Tomorrow. But she also did give him this keychain that has all the information that would be given to Sam. You have to remember, she's a psychiatrist. Lucy is a psychiatrist. As a psychiatrist, she had two patients. One was Neil Vana and the other was Sam Porter. And they were both working for Bridges. They were both porters delivering cargoes. However, his job was to deliver pregnant women smuggle pregnant women from Mexico to UCA, so that way this evil Bridget can use it for bridge babies, which is so evil, dude. So they were seeing a psychiatrist. Sam was seeing a psychiatrist. Neil was seeing a psychiatrist. They both fell in love with Lucy. And Lucy already knew Neil because they met when they were little kids. All right. I'm not going to tell you what that scene is about. I don't want to spoil it, but they met when they were little kids. But she loved both of them. She loved Neil and Sam. The only thing is, she had sex with Sam and the baby happened, of course. But she loved both of them. But she loved Sam, I believe, a little bit more. And so there's the Easter egg. There's Neil Vana as a snake in a dead world. Now, in a dead world, you can be whatever you want to be, right? Because you're in a alternate reality of other dimension and anything. When you're dead, anything's possible. You can be whoever you want to be. Neil wanted to be Solid Snake, so he embodied Solid Snake. And that was something that he embodied, to be Solid Snake, to move like a Solid Snake. So let me go back to my photos here. So let's talk about the gameplay. All right, I think this is the important part now that we need to talk about. I already explained the story to you guys, so you have a little bit better understanding of Death Stranding. But let's talk about deliveries. I actually find deliveries to be enjoyable. And the reason why I found deliveries this time around to be more enjoyable, because it's rewarding. One of the aspects of delivering cargoes, delivering packages, and connecting chiral networks, it's rewarding. There's a sense of reward, like you did this and you're getting something in return. You're getting better equipment. Every time you would deliver something, you would get a better equipment, like this truck, this off-road vehicle. I would have an extra batteries, I would have an extra tires that would help me climb up, drive on a very steep, vertical, tough terrain. I would get another gear, equipment, like a machine gun, turret gun, this other equipment that would help me pick up the packages, lost packages, and put them inside automatically, inside the cargo holder, inside the vehicle. So there's a sense of reward that you get all of these gears. I call it gear. It's what it is. It's a gear. Again, another reference to Metal Gear Solid. So you get all of this extra equipment, like an oxygen mask if you go up on a higher altitude on the mountains. So you get plenty of gear, plenty of equipment that helps you make it easier as you are traveling and delivering these packages. So when you are grinding in this game and you're doing all of these deliveries and connecting other people with chiral network, you get a sense of reward, sense of completion. And that's how I felt. And you can also listen to the music. You can listen to the music while you're delivering all of this, while you are connecting others with a chiral network. There is a enjoyment for you to enjoy the scenery, listen to the music. So I never felt like I was bored doing all of these tasks. I never felt like I was what's the word I'm trying to use? Like not appreciated. Everything gets always appreciated. Everything gets self-rewarding. So I never felt like this was a waste of time doing this. And I never felt bored. You can also, talk to your doll man. You have this guy called Doll Man. He also embodied into this doll man when he died, right? And you'll find out throughout the game how he died. He'll tell you his story. And then he crossed over to this doll, and then Fragile found him and picked him up, and she asked him, would you like to join us? Join the Fragile network. And then she gave doll to this doll man to Sam. So you can talk to doll man as you're traveling while you're listening to music. So you never feel bored. And there's always beautiful vistas and horizons for you to enjoy and explore. So it doesn't feel boring, But you can also go into these hot springs, these hot tubs, and soak up the sun, and relax a little bit and enjoy yourself. So you can do that as well, You can also rescue animals, bring them to the shelters. So there's tons of stuff to do. You can bring new medicine to these doctors and pharmacists, and there's so much to do here. Even after you finish the game, you still have a lot to do. Like when you finish the main story, you still continue to play. You still continue. The only difference is now you have a lot of extra help at your disposal. A lot of gear. You got Magellan that can take you to any part of the continent you want to go to in Australia or Mexico. So it's a little bit easier now to travel to Australia and Mexico and do connections and do all these other 8 quests that you didn't do, And there's also a VR missions on top of that. You also have a VR missions, just like in Metal Gear. Again, another reference to Metal Gear Solid, because in Metal Gear Solid also had a separate game called the Metal Gear VR. It was like a separate disc, but you can, play these Metal Gear VR missions. I used to play those as well. Metal Gear VR missions were so much fun, dude. Of course, I played it on the original PlayStation, Metal Gear VR missions, and then they released that on a Metal Gear Solid collection. They included those VR missions. I have the Metal Gear PlayStation 2 Metal Gear Solid collection, and those VR missions are included in there. Also, they included on the Xbox version called Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance, where you can go ahead and use those VR missions as well. So, delivering cargo never bothered me. Doing these deliveries I enjoyed. Like beautiful scenery is just an amazing. So let's talk about the graphics. The graphics are really one of the best I have ever seen. Especially when you switch to graphics mode in 4K with HDR on your LG OLED. I mean, it just looks phenomenal. The graphics are just phenomenal. Maybe I can show you. This is my vehicle that I have named after my 2 members, Shuki, Shinji, Stealth Super Beast vehicle. So let me show you some more beautiful scenery here. The graphics. Just look at this, for example. Man, look how beautiful that looks, man. I want to show you a really good photo that I took. That is just beautiful. I want to show you. Just look at this. Look how beautiful that looks, man. There's moments like these. So many beautiful moments in the game. And it just looks amazing. And look at this. I created. You can take photos. You can create your own photos and turn them into posters. I made a bunch of like a movie posters, like this one. You can also take photos inside the Magellan. You can take photos of the crew, Rainy, Tomorrow, Fragile, and the Dollman, and the Tarman. Tarman is played by none other than the Mad Max film director, George Miller. Like, the graphics are with this Decima engine, I have to say, this is the best looking PlayStation 5 game to date. Now, I have to see Ghost of Tsushima sequel in October. So my opinion might change once we approach October, once we start playing Ghost of Tsushima sequel. But for right now, as of this recording, July 7th, 2025, this has to be hands down the best looking PlayStation 5 game. Has to be. I mean, even though I was live streaming in 4K, it still doesn't do it justice until you see it in person on your big LG OLED TV in 4K and HDR, especially if you have a PS5 Pro, right? I can only imagine how sharp the quality mode is in PS5 Pro. So, it's photorealistic. It's the best looking. It's the best looking game on a PS5 at the moment. But like I said, I still have to play Ghost of Tsushima sequel. Maybe Ghost of Tsushima will be even better. I don't know. Sequel. But for right now, this is the best looking PS5 game. Hands down, I mean, the best looking. And this is Peko. This is a VTuber. VTuber. It's a character from a VTuber. Like Japanese, they use these like anime characters that don't show their faces. So when they're live streaming, they use these anime characters. And there's one specific VTuber that. Virtual tuber that I think that's what it stands for, virtual tuber, that Kojima likes. I forgot her name. It's a Japanese famous YouTuber that he likes in Japan, in Tokyo, and she's the actress here portraying this anime character. This is a data scientist. So this is a data scientist. So, but behind that voice, behind that anime voice, is a real VTuber from Japan. That's who she is, and that's her voice. I just forgot her name, so forgive me. But anyway, Kojima used her to be in the game as a data scientist. But she's also a very, very famous in Japan. Like, probably not here in America, of course, but in Japan and Southeast Asia, she's very famous as a YouTuber. So he used her voice to represent a data scientist, and that's her right there. She's the data scientist. I did say this video is going to be a long video because there's so much I needed to unpack. There's so much there's so much to unpack. So much I need to unpack to explain to you, my experience. All right, so now I'm sure everybody wants to know, what are my thoughts now that you know all of this information that I just gave you. How do I feel about this game? Look at the graphics, man. This is unbelievable. How do I feel about this game? Now that I explained to you the Death Stranding story, now that I explain to you how I feel about the gameplay. Now that I explained to you some Easter eggs regarding Metal Gear, now that I gave you my information on this game so you can understand it better. And I think that's how reviews should be done. Every detail should be presented after you complete the game. So now I'm going to jump into my final conclusion and my final opinion. Now that I have finished the game, I've spent 8 days, 81 hours playing this game. So I'm very familiar with this game. After finishing the Death Stranding 2, connecting the dots with the first game and the second game, everything became more clear to me. Understanding of what's going on in this world became much clearer to me. And once everything became crystal clear to me, automatically I realized, my God, I understand why this is a masterpiece. I understand why people praise this game so much. And once that happened, once I got that understanding, I started appreciating this game more and more and more and more. And if there's anything that you can learn from me, is don't judge the book by its cover. Read throughout the entire book. People need to... Right now I'm playing Silent Hill 2, and it's really amazing. You can't play these games for like a few hours and then never touch it again and then make your half-assed opinion on it. That's not how you should treat these games. You have to be genuine. I like to use the word genuine. If you're not genuine, then you're not being real. You're not giving the game a real, proper, fair due diligence treatment. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think that necessarily makes you a good gamer. That doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't make you a gamer at all. Me, I finish games. My friend Kemi, he finishes games. He trophies all of them. Both me and him, we played these games, we finished them. I recommended to him The Last of Us, and he played it. He was blown away. I recommended to him Days Gone, and he loved it. He trophied the whole thing, platinum it. He platinumed the whole thing, and he loved the game. So the lesson to be learned here, it's you have to finish these games. You have to give these games a proper respect. And lately I've seen that people are not doing that. Either they're just playing these games to get some views, to get some, clicks and money. But you can tell that they don't have the passion like I do. Like I am a gamer, dude. Sure, I want to make money just like everybody else, but I'm also a very passionate gamer. This is not like, if I hated playing video games, you would see it. It would show up. You would know that, this old geezer doesn't like video games. You can't hide that. If your passion is video games and you love it, it shows up on the screen. It shows up on this video. It shows up on all of my live streams. It's not something you can hide. So, I feel other YouTubers don't give as much respect to these games as they should have. They don't give it a fair treatment. And when you don't do that, then you're making these knee-jerk reaction, half-assed opinions about the game. And then people start, thinking, it's a bad game because they heard it from this famous YouTuber or this famous YouTuber. And then these famous YouTubers start saying some half-assed opinions, and then everybody starts spreading the same message like a wildfire. and everybody starts believing that it's garbage. You know, you have to try these games for yourself, but you also have to play them and you have to finish them to truly understand what the game is trying to achieve. So, yes, my final conclusion in all of this is this is a masterpiece. This is a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece now that I understand the connection between the first game and the second game. This is a masterpiece. And now I cannot wait for the Death Stranding 3 to see what happens with tomorrow. So yeah, I give this 10 out of 10. I mean, the graphics, the atmosphere, the music, the gameplay, the way your character moves realistically, the motion capture, the story, the open world, and so much to do in the open world, even after you finish the game. So many mini games like, VR training. There's a lot of replay value here, man. There's a, not only do you get a great experience with this, but you also have this replay value on top of that as well. This is worth $69.99 easily. This is an experience. Like, I have no issues paying $69.99 for this. I have no objection. I have no buyer remorse paying $69.99 for this. However, from mind's eye, even though I like the story and I finished the game, I do feel buyer remorse for mind's eye. For the obvious reasons, of course. We don't need to talk about the mind's eye here, but we all know why. So I give this game a masterpiece, and I hope that you guys made it in this 52 minutes of a video, that you made it this far. Because if you made it this far, thank you. That shows me that you are genuine. That shows me that you care about what I have to say. That shows me that you are interested in hearing my opinion, and I appreciate that. For those of you who stayed this long. Now, if you're wondering, well, why is this video so long? It has to be so long. It has to be close to 1 hour because there's so much I needed to unpack here. It wouldn't be the same if I was to cut it down into 15 minutes. It would feel like I was reading something off of a teleprompter. This way you get to hear my perspective. And the reason you made it this far throughout this video with 53 minutes, the reason you made it this far in 53 minutes of this video, it's because you want to hear my perspective. You heard other people's perspective, but you want to hear what I think, right? So if you stayed this long, 53 minutes on this video, then I appreciate you. That shows me that you are genuine and you genuinely care about what my perspective is. So yeah, this is a masterpiece across the board. Hopefully this video gives you that explanation why it's a masterpiece. But if you want some more clarity, feel free to watch my 20 episodes of walkthrough of Death Stranding 2. I started on June 27th and ended on June 6th. Right? June 6th. Or was it June 5th? I'm sorry, June 5th. And ended it on June 5th. June 5th. So 8 days. I've been playing this game for 8 days. Everything's documented. All of the live streams are documented in 4K 60. So if you want to know more detail, then in-depth more detail, then go ahead and watch those live streams. It's all there for you to see. So, but I think this video clarifies a lot of things. But if you're still unsure, please go watch those live streams. That's why they're there. And also become a member so you don't have to watch those commercials. Please. I'll never understand why people want to watch commercials. Become a member. It's only $2. Why you want to watch those commercials? But I only want genuine members. I always said this. I want people who are genuine. I want a genuine audience to support me. I'm not interested in fly-by-nights and phonies. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in like individuals who truly are genuine, and they appreciate my hard work and the effort that I put into this. Okay, that's all I'm interested in, genuine individuals. And if you are genuine, then $2 shouldn't be a problem. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. All right, well, that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know what you guys think. Have you played it? Are you thinking about playing it? Are you gonna purchase it after this video? Are you gonna play it? I would highly recommend this game. If you are a Kojima fan and you want to experience something great this summer, this is an experience. Nothing short of an experience. And honestly, during this summer, I can't think of a better game to experience than this one. It's a very emotional roller coaster. It will take you in all kinds of different directions. But take your time. One thing I want to say before I leave, don't rush through this game. Take your time. Do all those other side missions and all those other side quests and aid quests, and take your time. Put in 200 hours. Take your time, and you will have a great summer of experience with Death Stranding 2. Plus those VR missions that you can play as well. So take your time. Don't rush through it. Take your time. Take some breaks. Don't rush through it, and you'll have a great summer, playing this game. Well, that's it. 57 minutes, guys. I hope that this video was informative. I made the video as I promised. I'm releasing a little bit earlier. I did say Friday, but I was like, I need to release this on Monday. It's July 7th, 2025. I think it's time that I publish this review. Well, there you have it. Now you know why it's a masterpiece. I explained everything. Honestly, I think I did. If there's something I missed, please let me know. But I think I explained everything in detail, why it's a masterpiece. So there you have it. I hope this was helpful and informative to you. And thank you for watching. And I'm hoping that you will subscribe and become a member so you can enjoy the live streams uninterrupted without any commercials. Thank you for watching.